Hi, everyone. I'm going to do another book reading, Crown and the Cage God. It comes out in 3 days on this Saturday, June 1st, in the year of our Lord, 2024. I'm going to read a passage from it. Marie picked this one out. It's on world building, it's sort of abstractly about that. And Marie and I, we both love, love world building when it's elegantly done. You know, if it's structurally sound, if it's internally consistent. And she and I share a favorite. Our favorite world builder is the same person. But before I reveal the name of our unanimous gold medalist, I want to know who your favorite is. So if you do some typing and post that typing and let me know who your favorite, not your favorite novelist is, but your favorite builder of worlds. Feel free to justify your reasoning or explain it a little bit or don't. But while you do or don't do that, I'm going to drag out this preamble a little bit because I find it fascinating. Marie and I both find it fascinating that she and I independently decided on the same one. We both, it's like separately selected the same, it's like world building laureate who's super unlikely. I don't think anyone else would pick this person. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but my hunch is no one else would pick this person. And we both, that was our chosen champion. Um, and so that's like, reason to be wed. But we also have our runner-up is the same. And the runner-up from that too. So our top three are all the same. And again, like separately chosen things. And so I'll mention the runner-up. That's our honorable mention. I will now mention honorably is Tolkien. I don't think anyone would argue, against Tolkien's appointment as the grandfather of world building. And certainly Marie and I don't argue because very honorably we appointed him to that role as well. But all grandfathers have dads, right? Every grandfather has a dad. And the great granddaddy of world building was just a poet of biology. Okay, and that biological poet is Charles Darwin, right? So Charles is such a beautiful writer. Just Marie and I read his works and oh, it's so beautiful. But he wasn't building like a Middle Earth, right? He was building Earth. But before Darwin, Earth had never been portrayed in that way before. It had never been built on the page until Darwin came along, and it was so good. I mean, he just described it so elegantly, right? There's internal consistency. It was structurally sound. It was perfect. Earth suddenly made sense. And so when Marie described my book, after I read it to her, she described it as like Darwinian fiction. Oh, that was a compliment to me. I don't know if that's a compliment to everybody, but to me, I received that as like the highest praise she could possibly offer. And so the passage that she chose for me to read here um, is marked with another token, another magic card, it's one that so I'm a professor and it's very professorial. And so it's one that I thought might just bore everybody to death. But it's not science for science's sake. I mean, there are load-bearing beams to the story here, to the architecture of the story. And so it's an important one. And it was nice that Marie picked this one out for me to read. But she also said that I need to have some sort of a graphical presentation where it's not just me reading. So as I cue myself up, cut to graphics. First dissertation first. Natural order of the Rycub, Garlock, and Pittacos, a study of chronogeography. Terrible title. All three species are diurnal, but they have starkly different circadian rhythms, likely consequent of predatorial adaptations. The bear hunts the cat hunts the bird, and the bird blinds the bear, plucks out its eyes. It's the biological equivalent of natural order, that old schoolyard game. Wood dams water, water extinguishes fire, fire burns wood. All three animals are interesting, but the Rycub is the one that really fascinates me because of its unique skeletal muscle system. It can produce normal, voluntary muscle actions, but its reactions are largely involuntary and produced by external sensory stimuli. To put it plainly, its movement is based on vision. Humans have some unconscious motion control. For example, we have brain regions that assist in coordinating muscle activity with sensory processing. This wasn't my discovery. That knowledge came from cruel experimentation from an earlier age. All my experiments were done on the already deceased. And what my work revealed was that approximately half of the ricub's brain consists of ancillary regions that coordinate muscle actions with visual stimuli. My second discovery involved their spines. In the human spine, there exist central pattern generators which regulate rhythmic muscle contractions. This enables us to walk without much higher brain control. What I found in the ricub spine, however, was something else entirely, an intricately woven network so comprehensive, most locomotion likely originates there. And my final discovery involved communication between the muscle fibers and those spines. In humans, there are deeply embedded spindles within individual skeletal muscles. These produce reflexive contractions in response to elongation forces. This has been understood for decades and ignored for just as long because it's not that interesting. Because we're not ricubs. In a ricub's limb, there is more involuntarily innervated muscle tissue than there is consciously controlled mass. Ricubs are not encumbered by the sluggish pace of voluntary recruitment, and this grants them the fastest reaction time of any known species. Why would this trait develop? Evolution. It was an arms race between the ricub and its prey, the pithecus. If the pithecus were quicker, not only would the ricub lose its meal, but it may also lose its eyes. Okay, I hope the rest of your day and life are lived out in a world that was built perfectly for you, whether it's in literature and you find yourself like in its immersive or it's video games or whatever, or real Earth. I hope you live out your days in a world that was just so designed perfectly for you. Okay, goodbye.